Hey guys, my name is Rich, and in this press start, we're going to be taking a look at the Final Fantasy X HD Remaster for the PlayStation 4. It's a bit of a mouthful. This game came out last week. This week was The Witcher. That video's up. This is a re-release of the PlayStation 3 version, which came out about a year ago, which was an HD remaster of the original Final Fantasy X, which came out, I believe, in July 2001. In North America and probably everywhere else. We're a little bit into the game, a little past the tutorials, kind of still, getting introduced to everyone. Figured now would be a good time to kind of show off the game, what it looks like, how it feels, how it plays, etc., etc. So I named the main character after myself because I'm a dork, and I've always just done that. Here, we'll take a look at some combat. So Final Fantasy X, if you don't know the Final Fantasy series, this is an RPG, a role-playing game. It's a very long-standing, historic franchise. It's been around for, I don't know, probably about 30 years now, 20-something years. It is a ton of fun. I have been playing Final Fantasy, I think my first one was 7, which was arguably my favorite because it's probably the one that has gotten me into gaming and it kind of stuck. So that one's probably my favorite, but I have played the majority of them outside of like 3 and 5. That's pretty much it. I love the series as a whole. I love the game as a whole. And like I said, this is kind of the thing that got me into playing games, so I couldn't not pick this one up. I don't think I've ever actually traded in a Final Fantasy that I bought, or I know there's a treasure over here somewhere. Yep. I've never actually traded in a Final Fantasy. I've never gotten rid of one. I have the originals. I have my original Final Fantasy 7 in the black case. I've the original Final Fantasy 8, the original Final Fantasy 9, 10, etc. I'm not huge into the MMOs 11 and 14. I think when 11 came out, I played it for a little bit because I was intrigued, but that's around the time also when I discovered World of Warcraft. So that, if I was playing an MMO, that was unfortunately the one that was going to drag me away. I did start playing 14 a little bit. A couple buddies of mine play it. It is fun, but it's one of the games that kind of came out in the middle of, again, other games, and I just never really got around to really sinking into it, even though I did actually really enjoy it, and I thought it was better than 11, obviously, however many years on it's been. But I did really, really like that one. So as you can see from the game here, it's not a traditional, like the Final Fantasies before. It's actually turn-based, based on your actions and your commands and what you do. So if I use an item, I'm going to go earlier than Monster B, etc. But the game looks good. It looks like an up-resed version of a PlayStation 2 port from 14 years ago. These games, the majority of Final Fantasy games are timeless. I feel like they age, it depends I guess on who you talk to. They age both very well and very poorly. Sometimes the random enemy encounters become very tedious and very annoying, as opposed to kind of seeing what's on the screen. I think I'm missing an item actually. Yeah, here we go. I knew. That's part of my freak memory, is that I do remember where retarded items are. I know that when I get to the trials, I'm probably going to forget and I'll have to look something up. But the game looks good. It comes with this and Final Fantasy X-2. I've actually never touched X-2. I've never touched 13-2 or 13-3 either. I've never really seen any interest after this game ended. I never felt like I wanted to go back and play as Yuna and her friends, well, Riku and some new person. When you do start this game, though, at least for Final Fantasy X, I obviously don't know for X-2 yet, it'll give you the option of playing with an expert sphere grid or a normal sphere grid. The normal sphere grid is from the original game, the original Final Fantasy X, where it's more of a straight line path to keep you on your character's abilities, and kind of not... I think there's nothing over here, right? Is there something over here? No. it keeps you on the original path of the game and gives you kind of what they're supposed to do from the beginning. Very, I don't want to say linear because it's not linear, but it's because it's what the characters do. Like in all Final Fantasies, everyone's supposed to learn something and level up a certain way. If you do the expert sphere grid, you are given a lot more freedom to learn and move about your ability board a lot quicker and easier. So if you want, well, the most prevalent example I was given was that Yuna, you can pretty much teach Yuna black magic straight off the bat and make her pretty overpowering and make early game kind of stupid, because you're so powerful, and I don't even think you would need to switch out characters to Lulu. So I chose for normal just because I like the normal grid. Also, a part of the expert one is that you're given, I think you're given less empty nodes to level, but it ends up evening out because some things are higher and some things are lower. I don't know, but the main talking point was that you're given more freedom to kind of just go and figure out the board. Oh, I'm dying. Also, you're also given the option to use either the arranged soundtrack or the original. I'm currently using the arranged. I'll stop talking so you can hear what it sounds like. So that's the arranged. It's a more orchestra-based soundtrack. It's going to be, you know, more wind chimes and bells and whistles. The original, which I'll put on now, is more of a what's the word? It's more of it's more of a lower res, or just a lower quality, I guess. Yeah, it's a lower quality. Probably not gonna end up getting in a fight now, though, so you can hear it.
Let me go.
It's creepy Wakka.
Got a favor to ask you. You want me on your team, right?
So if you don't know the story of this game, a character is a famous sports star, and this giant monster comes and destroys the city that he lives in, and he's teleported essentially to this other world or dimension or realm where everything's kind of the same. It's the same place, but it's, you know, forward in time, and he's trying to kind of figure out why he's here, and he meets all these friends along the way, and the typical Final Fantasy romance. Excuse me, and all of that. So, you know, that's pretty much this game in a nutshell. If you have played Final Fantasy X and you didn't love it, I would probably say to steer clear of the game. There isn't too much new here, except for I think they added in all the dark aeons or eidolons. I don't remember what they were in this game, which was only available originally in I think the European version and the Japanese version. They added all that in, I think. And obviously there's trophy support, so now you can actually get a trophy for dodging 200 lightning bolts, which is the dumbest thing in the world. I didn't do that ever because I didn't want to, because it was time consuming and boring. So yeah, if you've played Final Fantasy and you weren't wowed by it, I'd probably say no need to pick it up. If you play Final Fantasy and you do love the series and you haven't picked it up yet, this is probably the version to pick up. You can pass on the PS3 version and just pick this one up. If you've never played a Final Fantasy game, this might be a good idea, or this not a good idea. This might be a good version for you to step into. I wouldn't say this is one of the easier Final Fantasies, but it is, I want to say, more lighthearted.
So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do.
And kind of easier to pick up. as opposed to something
we
like
give it our
Final
all,
Fantasy
I
8
can walk
or
away
9
happy.
or
No.
6.
If
Well, 6
I
is
say what's our goal,
I don't know.
you say victory. When you play in a blitzball tournament, you play
If you don't like
to
Final
win.
Fantasy, just, you know, obviously stay
Victory.
away unless you want to maybe give it a second try. I would say
serious?
probably to pick this one up. If you started somewhere like 14, I feel like you're going to end up hating the series as a whole. Unless you like MMOs, then you actually might like it. Let's see if we get into another battle so we can hear the original soundtrack, which isn't all that great.
Ah, the one from the sea.
Be on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, it would be a shame if something happened now.
This game has Blitzball, which I haven't shown. I think I'm going to put the opening cinematic at the end,
Crusaders.
which is awesome because I love the song that they used for it.
Cruise of what?
I actually used to listen to that song.
What? You forgot that too? Hey, sorry. Don't
The-
worry about it. I'll help you out.
The outfits in this game are
Cool.
fucking atrocious.
return come
I think
tournament
someone
time,
did a
I'll make
paper,
sure
not
we
a
take the
paper,
cup.
they wrote a column
Ooh.
or a blog about
the
how Titus
Crusaders,
is
you can ask them
arguably
yourself.
the
They got a
worst
lodge in the
dressed
village.
Final Fantasy character in the history of Final Fantasy, which I don't really disagree with because, I mean, look at this. He's got, it's like a zip-up tank top with a belt, and then a three-way convertible shorts that he only converted one way on the right and two ways on the left, and then a miniature zip-up yellow sweatshirt with a hood and a sleeve on, a protective sleeve on his left arm, and gross boots on his feet. It's just terrible. I want to get into a battle real quick just so we can take a look or a listen to the original soundtrack. I don't think I'm going to get it. I wasn't paying attention. There might not even be any random battles on this road yet. Nope. Alright, whatever.
Besaid Village.
They got any food there?
We'll get you something over there later. Take a
He,
look around first.
Titus, or as I named him, Rich, because that's me. I do that with all the
Let's
characters
see.
because I'm a fucking dork.
Crusaders
I
Lodge
started
is
doing it when I
over
was
yonder. Luz
9,
Wakka are
when I
usually
was playing
there.
Final Fantasy 7, and it just stuck. He is kind of annoying.
All right.
I kind of wanted to punch his voice actor in the face.
Over here.
Huh? What's up?
I grew to appreciate this game more.
Do remember the prayer, right?
And do you remember the prayers? I don't remember.
I didn't know it in the first place, to tell the truth.
I grew to appreciate
Man,
this
that's
game
like
a
the
lot more, I
basics
think,
of
as
the
time went on.
basics. All right,
Because
I'll show you.
as Final Fantasy 12 and 13 came out, I realized that this was actually a better game than I gave it credit for. I didn't dislike 12.
Go ahead,
I just
you
felt like
try.
it wasn't very Final Fantasy-like.
Hmm.
It was almost like an MMO. It was... I can't... That's another game that's hard to describe. That was like an MMO that you played by yourself. And you commanded a little army that
Not
you
bad.
set up for... Or like you set commands up for into battle.
Okay, now go present
And
yourself to
then-
the temple summoner.
Any
Final
blitzball
Fantasy
player would
13 was
know
kind of
that
just
prayer.
there for me.
It was the blitzball sign for victory.
A lot of people thought it was extremely linear, and it is until, 3/4 into the game. And then they kind of tell you, well, now you can have fun. And I remember my buddy platinumed it, and I wanted so bad to platinum that game, and there was just no way that was going to happen. 14, like I said, is fun. Let's steal all these chests from this guy. And then I am excited for 15. I did not play the demo episode Dusky or Dusky. I wasn't gonna buy that game just to play the demo. I don't really have any interest in a lot of the spin-offs. I don't remember what any of these are. I think one of them is an inn. This is the mission, like the help desk. Yeah, it's the tutorial.
Hey, you! You were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
Again,
I think
if you
so.
don't, again, if
So,
you've played
Sin
Final
can't be
Fantasy,
far, right?
you know that these
You're
games
not
are
hiding
heavy on
anything, are
story
you?
and side quests.
Why would I?
If you
If
don't
Sin's nearby,
know Final
he'll
Fantasy,
attack the island
this
for
game
sure.
is heavy on
But it
story and
hasn't.
side quests.
I wonder why.
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything.
If you play this game
To tell the
to
truth,
completion,
I, don't
probably
even
go for
know
all
what
the trophies.
Crusaders are.
just
You
this
can't,
one
right?
Sin.
is probably going to be
Toxin.
around 100
Gotta
hours,
tell
maybe a
him
little
who we
more.
are.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if
The
I'm going to end up
Crusaders are
doing that
sworn
because
to
I do have
battle
The Witcher
Sin.
3 to play.
We have chapters throughout Spira, accepting
And then
all
I
who
do
wish to join our
have-
struggle. The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders
I wanted
800
to
years
platinum
ago as the
Bloodborne.
Crimson
Sorry, I hit the mic.
Blades.
I wanted to platinum Bloodborne.
Later, our ranks
Close on
grew, and
that.
we called
I
ourselves
needed to
the
finish Shadow of
Crusaders.
Mordor.
We've been
I still
fighting Sin
haven't done
ever
that because
since.
I'm an asshole.
What? You've been fighting 800 years and you still
I
haven't
am playing
beat it?
Battlefield, both of them, 4 and Hardline. I do
Well,
enjoy
we've
them
steered
both.
Sin away from towns many times, and that's all we
I
can
don't
do.
really feel listening to this guy.
Our mission as Crusaders
I
is
can't
to
skip it.
protect.
So
idiot.
then who?
Is Sin's
It does seem. We could just tell you. Go pray at the temple.
I hit the mic again. Shit. I did buy the Wind Waker HD remake, which I haven't even started yet. I think there's a... I thought there was a primer in one of these places. No. I wanted to play more of The Last of Us, the remake, because I haven't. I played like the first, I don't know, 15 minutes. That was one of the games that I was going to have like a dual play with my girlfriend and kind of make her experience that because she enjoys the horror games. So that still might happen. But we'll see. I could have sworn there was an Albed primer. But this game has a lot of little mystique to it and little, kind of fun stuff. Finding the Albed primers is awesome. Getting all the Eidolons or Aeons. I think it's Aeons. Aeons is a lot of fun. Doing the trials are fun. I could have sworn there was a primer in one of these places. Getting everyone's ultimate weapons is great. Actually, that was actually a lot of fun too. But leveling them all up properly, as I guess that would be said, or I don't know how you would say that. You have to unlock them, because they don't reach their full potential until they're unlocked, and that was the whole 200 lightning bolts and all that shit. Let me see, right? Alright, I guess there's nothing else in here. But the game looks good. It obviously looks better than what it did, however many years ago, 14 years ago now that it came out. Figure ranged. I would suggest picking this up overall. I'm a sucker for Final Fantasy, especially the main entry series. This is probably up there in my top 4 or 5. 7 is probably 1, and then 9, and then 6, and then probably 10. Let's go talk to Wakka
Go present yourself to the temple.
before we eat. I think this was $50. I don't remember if it was 50 or 60. The one I got came with a desk calendar. If you want a desk calendar. If you want a desk calendar, it's actually starts in May, so you're not getting fucked. For a 6-month desk calendar. But it's worth it, especially, look, my backlog is getting insane right now. Arguably, I have 5 or 6 games that I'm going to need to play. I don't need to play, but that I want to play. And then I don't think there's any releases I'm going to be buying until Arkham Knight comes out. And that is in early June. I think either the first or second week. Actually, it might be later. Let me look at the calendar.
I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
That's another game I'm going to be playing a ton of. I'll obviously be making a video in. Release date, alright, it's June 23rd. So I have a little more than a month to try to bang out 1, 2, 3, 4, probably between 4. I want to complete 4 of them and then platinum at least a couple of them. I've never been a huge trophy hunting type guy, but I'm level 15 and I'm a sucker for them. I really am. The only thing I think that's going to hold me back from this game is that I have played it. I have beat it to completion. And it's a very long game.
I got too close to Sin's toxin.
I mean, look at his fucking awful outfit.
Myself make the same excuse over and over.
I remember when
funny.
I remember when I first got it. I didn't know if he was a guy or a girl.
Of a sacred art, sworn to protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few.
I also remember
who call forth
when this game came out, I went on vacation and I met some family members, and they told me that this game was selling anti-religious propaganda because of part of the storyline is about religion. Obviously, is what is going on in the scene if you're watching. And
something like that, I figured.
I was 2001 or 2002. I was. What was I? Oh, I was 14, and I just remember arguing like, this has, like, you guys really think they're like, they actually thought that this game was telling them to like go against Christianity or Catholicism or whatever religion they were into. And I remember I was adamantly arguing as a 14-year-old about religion. And even now, if you play this game and you think that this game is anti-religion or anti-Judaism or Catholicism, you're stupid. No offense, but you're stupid. And you should probably rethink your religion and what you're doing with yourself. Alright, so I guess we'll end it on going and seeing Yuna for the first time. Oh. Fuck. I don't remember. Did we leave? Did she come out now? No. Alright, so I'm going to end it there. We've been in for about, what? About 20 minutes. So, yeah, now's a good time to end it. So if you haven't picked this game up, or have never played it, and you like Final Fantasy, or you're interested, you can't beat this. You're getting 2 games for the price of 1. They're two... Well, one of them is a very good game. I can't speak for the other one. I'll probably do a video on that soon. And, you know, this game, it's aged pretty well, other than the random encounters. But go pick it up and enjoy a good 60 to 100 hour story and side quest missions and secret weapons and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Press Start. Hopefully I'll be able to get something out soon. I was actually debating on doing a Dota video. I don't know how that will go. Probably going to end up doing a little more Witcher, a little more probably of this. Maybe I'll do some weapon guides or something. Maybe I'll see if I can pull off the platinum trophy for Bloodborne. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I do appreciate it. Subscriptions are always appreciated. I hate asking for it, but it does give me an idea that I am somewhat doing something right. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it every little bit, every little view. It does mean a lot. This isn't my full-time job. I never thought this would be. I never think it will be, but I do enjoy making videos and sharing some knowledge and information, because games are my passion. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.